Strasbourg, Holy Roman Empire. The year is 1518. So picture this. A woman named Frau Tophea walks into the street and starts dancing. No music, no partner, just flailing around like she's at a rave no one else was invited to. And here's the weird part. She doesn't stop. Not after an hour, not after a day, not even after a whole week. And before long, she's got company. Dozens, then hundreds of people all dancing themselves half to death. And I don't mean that in a figurative sense. This is the true story of the dancing plague of 1518. Now, depending on which old record you look at, the details get a little fuzzy. Was Frau Tophea really the first dancer? How many people died? Did anyone even die at all? Historians argue about this stuff like it's some kind of dance-off. But even the details they do agree on are bizarre enough. Within a week, about 30 people had joined her impromptu cardio session, and the number only grew. And just to make it clear for everybody, this wasn't some elegant ballroom stuff. Witnesses said it looked more like trashing, twitching, convulsing. Think mosh pit energy but in broad daylight. And no one wanted to be there. Feet were bleeding, people were collapsing, some cried out for help, and others allegedly dropped dead from strokes, heart attacks, or just sheer exhaustion. So how did the authorities respond? With 16th century medicine, of course. Doctors decided the cause was overheated blood, and their cure? More dancing. Yeah. They actually brought in musicians and set up stages. Imagine a government-sponsored rave where the point wasn't fun, it was survival. And spoiler, it didn't help. Meanwhile, locals thought it was punishment from Saint Vitus, who was set to curse sinners by making them dance uncontrollably. So naturally, some people joined in voluntarily, hoping to shake the sin right out of themselves. Eventually though, the city realized they were making things worse, so they banned all public dancing and hauled the still dancing citizens to the shrine of Saint Vitus, where elaborate rituals were performed. Strangely enough, that seemed to work. By September, the dancing plague all but fizzled out. But what actually happened? Back then, people blamed demons, hot blood, and angry saints. Today though, historians have two main theories. First, ergot poisoning. Eating grain infected with a fungus that can cause hallucinations. Essentially the 1500s version of LSD. But that doesn't explain why so many people reacted in the same exact way. The second theory is mass hysteria. Strasbourg at the time had been wrecked by famine, disease, and non-stop stress. Put all of that together, and it's possible that some people slipped into a shared trance state. Add in superstition and a total lack of good information, and suddenly a weeks-long death dance marathon doesn't seem so implausible. So what was it? Bad bread? A case of group psychosis? Or Saint Vitus himself dropping the deadliest mixtape of the 16th century? We may never know, but what we do know is that in Strasbourg, in the summer of 1518, people really did dance like their lives depended on it. Unfortunately, sometimes they did. This is Hidden Footnotes. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more historical tales from the annals of history. Wait, is that right? Annals? Annals?